do you want? A choice. A chance.
There's your chance. Take it.
Grateful.
The day will come when you won't be.
Hey, what's up, guys? Back with season 7, episode 9, mid-season 7 premiere of The Walking Dead, entitled "Rockin' the Road." Alright, episode starts out with Father Gabriel reading his Bible during his night shift at the Alexandria Gate. He stares into the darkness, a worried expression on his face. He leaves the post. In the pantry, Gabriel hurriedly fills crates with food and weapons. His Bible falls into the ground, and he skims through the weapons registry and with shaky hands. He loads the crates into a car and leaves Alexandria. A dark figure is visible in the passenger seat. Meanwhile, back at the hilltop, Rick, Maggie, Sasha, Carl, Michonne, Tara, Rosita, Daryl, and Jesus meet with Gregory. He refuses to help them in a fight against the Saviors. Gregory tells the survivors that they owe him twice over for not killing the Saviors as promised, and for his personal risk in harboring Maggie and Sasha. They exit the library, and Enid leads them to the courtyard, where a group of Hilltop residents offer to join the fight against the Saviors. Daryl reasons that they may not need a large army if they find the right supplies, then they can blow them up. Tara brings up the fact that there are civilians inside the sanctuary. Rick suggests they return to Alexandria before the Saviors arrive, looking for Daryl. Jesus reveals a long-range walkie-talkie stolen from the Saviors. They can listen in and hear if Negan dispatches his men to Alexandria. He then proposes they go visit the King Ezekiel. Jesus leads Rick's groups to a decayed parking lot. Richard and another Kingdom guard arrive on horseback. Jesus makes introductions and explains that they have similar interests. After some hesitation, Richard invites them to follow him. Richard, assuming Rick is interested in becoming a trade partner, confides in Jesus. He stresses their need to battle the Saviors. Jesus assures Richard that he has good news. Richard takes Rick's group inside the Kingdom, where they reunite with Morgan. Morgan keeps his word, and he admits to Rick and Daryl that he found Carol, but says that she subsequently left the Kingdom without revealing her location. Richard takes Rick's group to the theater, where they meet King Ezekiel. Rick asks Ezekiel to help them fight the Saviors. Ezekiel reprimands Jesus for telling Rick about his deal with the Saviors. They plead their case. In the process, Richard urges Ezekiel to fight the Saviors before things get worse. Morgan asks for his opinion by Ezekiel himself, advises that they must find a non-violent course. Ezekiel agrees to give Rick his decision a thought, and in the morning he will let them know, and invites them to stay the night. Benjamin runs into Carol in the woods while practicing his walker fighting skills. She gives him advice on staying quiet and tells him to go home. Ezekiel puts Henry, Benjamin's brother, down to bed. Benjamin urges Ezekiel to help Rick group fight the Saviors. Ezekiel thanks him for his counsel. The next morning, Ezekiel explains to Rick that even though the Kingdom seems idyllic, they had to fight for it. He lost many people in a battle against the Walkers. That's why he refuses to violate the peace he holds with the Saviors. However, he offers Daryl asylum within the Kingdom walls. Rick's group makes their way out of the Kingdom. Sasha vents to Rosita about Ezekiel. Rosita blows her off and refuses to be friends with her just because they both slept with Abraham. Rick explains to Richard that they don't have the numbers to take out even one outpost. Richard realizes it's not just about the numbers. They're making the Saviors stronger every day. They're providing food and weapons and supplies. Rick urges Daryl to stay behind for his own safety and to potentially change Ezekiel's mind. On the drive back to Alexandria, they encounter a blockade of cars on the highway, set up by the Saviors. They start moving the cars out of the way. Michonne peers through some binoculars and spots something down the highway. Rick's group finds a tripwire rigged across the road. A steel cable is stretched between two cars on opposite sides of the road, explosives carefully strung along the cable. Carl recalls Saviors talking about a tripwire trap for a large herd of walkers. Rosita leads an effort to dismantle the explosives so they can take the dynamite and RPGs with them. Rick's group hear Negan's voice over the walkie. Negan dispatches a search party to Alexandria as they hurry to dismantle the tripwire. The large herd approaches down the road. Rick explains that they want the herd to stay on the highway because they may need it. As Rosita, Tara, and Carl work to block the on-ramp again. The herd surrounds them. Rick tells Jesus and Sasha to return to the hilltop. Then Rick and Michonne hotwire 2 cars holding the steel cables for the tripwire. They drive on opposite sides of the herd, slicing walkers with the cord. They make their way to the SUV and join Rosita, Carl, and Tara. As the SUV drives off, some leftover dynamite explodes amidst the herd behind them. As Rick and Michonne catch their breath in the back of the car, she assures him that they can make it. We're the ones who live. Rick's group returns to Alexandria moments before Simon arrives with a group of saviors. Rick innocently wonders why they are back so soon for tribute. Simon tells them that they're looking for Daryl. The saviors search Alexandria but come up empty. Simon notes that the pantry shelves are bare. Aaron explains that they're having a hard time scavenging. After Simon leaves, Rick asks Aaron about the pantry. Aaron and Tobin explain that Gabriel disappeared from his night shift, along with most of the food, weapons, and a car. Rosita accuses Gabriel of stealing their goods, but Rick defends Gabriel, saying he wouldn't do that. Rick finds Gabriel's Bible on the pantry floor. He then leafs through the inventory notebook and finds a hastily scribbled note from Gabriel that says boat, referring to the boat where Rick and Aaron found supplies. Aaron packs a bag to accompany Rick back to the boat. Eric begs him not to go, but he knows they're taking on the saviors. Aaron tells him he has to. Rick's group arrives at the lake. They follow a trail of footprints to an overgrown urban parking lot. A large group quickly surrounds them, holding them at gunpoint. The episode ends with Rick with a crazy smile on his face. Alright guys, that was the quick little rundown review of Season 7, Episode 9, entitled Rockin' the Road, the mid-season premiere for Season 7. Appreciate you checking it out as always, guys. Like, comment, most importantly, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.
Welcome to Woodburn.
Pushing our pants yet?